YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and I just did the live broadcast of Patchy's Weekend, or Heir's Weekend Warriors. I guess I should call it Patchy's Weekend Warriors, one way or the other. It's where I'm going to do live events every now and then, just have you all join the battles. The worst thing about a live broadcast is that I'm busy talking to you. Sometimes I make lots of mistakes and I don't get to show you a lot of close-ups or anything else. So this will be my opportunity to show you those battles. I did not get a chance to save the first battle where I got slaughtered in the Teutoburg Forest, but there's probably not much to show there. You can watch it and watch me get slaughtered there anyway. Let's take a look at that Arverni versus Carthage battle, the Battle of Navisos, which was me playing the ambusher, and Carthage, my opponent, being ambushed. You can see his army there, so mix of hoplites and sword infantry and pike infantry. Kind of a nice, well-rounded army. Not too many skirmishers is probably a good idea, since he's going to start out surrounded. And you can see my army over here was shock infantry, dogs, yeah, a lot of javelins, and just a little bit of cav, and a couple of oathsworn. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the overall initial setup. So this is how it starts. My men get to basically catch the Carthaginian formation in column, which is pretty handy. I have. Oh, let's see, where's a good spot? That's about as good as anything. So basically I started my some of my light horse here, and the idea was to go after his own cav. I wasn't quite quick enough, and then my idea was to pin his infantry from both directions, of course. And then my dogs I was going to release onto his skirmishers, and then these dogs just into the back of this infantry. So that was my overall plan. Let's see how it plays out. Pretty cool scenery, huh? It's actually a really cool ambush map in my mind. It's the great spot, you know, where you got the small hills around. I released my war dogs towards his skirmishers. They get caught by his cavalry. Don't know if that's going to go well for me or not. It's unfortunate for me. I really needed him to get to his skirmishers right off the bat. And then his cavalry goes straight for my naked fanatics, which is actually a pretty good move here, because they're going to catch them, and these guys are terrible versus melee cav. Over here, let's see what we got going on. His Libyan infantry getting attacked from the flank by my war dogs. So I've got war dogs into them, and then right here I've got naked warriors coming into the front of these Libyans. I got naked warriors into these hoplites, more naked warriors there. And then his pikes are trying to catch me here. That's my oathsworn unit. I'll go ahead and turn the flags back on so you all can see what's going on. See over here, he's going after my dog handlers. I've got my light cav in the middle of his skirmishers, and here one of my spear units catches his African pikemen from behind, but his pikemen are pushing against some of my light horse, which is going to be bad for me. Let's see, over here my oathsworn are pushing into these pikemen. Or no, those are hoplites mixed with pikemen, so I pull out of that. All the while, my javelins are getting good throws into his flank. So this is where javelins will pay off. They're good against heavy infantry. Carthaginian general gets caught here amongst all my naked swords and starts to get cut down. And then over here, his Libyans are still tied up with the naked swords. Looks like they managed to kill the dogs, but I'm thinking the help from the dogs really helped this fight last. But I also popped Relentless, which improves my attack and fatigue. And then Unity of the Tribes, which helps my morale. So that's probably the main reason why my naked swords stayed in this fight for as long as they did. Otherwise, those Libyan infantry are superior. Over here, my naked swords get mopped up by a Carthaginian hoplite. These are the guys that got mauled by cav for a while. But these javelins are going to finish those Carthaginian hoplites. And then I've got my heavy horse now into the rest of his skirmishers. And then I've also got these infantry coming from behind. So his pikes actually put up a pretty valiant fight. Over 100 kills on that one. Not really many kills on this pike unit yet. Oh, check it out, getting hit from behind by naked swords. It's going to drop that pikeman pretty quick. I think he tries to reform them, though. And then over here, I've started to wrap this fight up. Let's watch. So yeah, see, he goes to reform these pikes. You can actually reform them. You do take some losses, but it's beneficial in the end. So now his pikes are actually facing my naked warriors. And then these spears are still chasing these pikemen over here. Those spears ended up being pretty helpful for me. So I pulled my swords back, it looks like, to get away from his pikes, and I'll come in from the flank here with these naked swords. get into the flank of that unit. Some of my men are getting cut down on the front, but some of them getting in behind here, so that'll be the end of that African pikeman unit. And then I've got spears into the back of these guys, and these guys are facing the wrong direction as well. So he just can't seem to get his pikes facing the right direction, and that is a difficulty of using them. They are quite good, but if you can't get them facing the right direction, then they don't do near as much damage as they should. Okay, so his Libyan infantry beats me out here, and I'm running this Oathsworn away from them, but I decided to go ahead and turn around and take the engagement. My Oathsworn is exhausted. That's because of Frenzy and Headhunt. So the benefit of using those earlies is it improves your charge and your melee attack and morale, but it also then exhausts your men, which is going to affect their performance in melee. But his Libyan infantry are tired as well. If you have a unit that has Frenzy or Use the Whip, I believe it should be used on the charge because it increases their speed and damage, and it's going to make them more damaging on the charge. And I think it's good to go ahead and just get that right off the bat. If the fight ends up being prolonged, though, that can end up being bad. Check it out, I'm going to take the dog handlers into the back of this Libyan infantry. The dog handlers actually have, not good stats, but fair. And the outflanking penalty is enough to start hurting this Libyan infantry. It's now outflanked by several units and under missile fire. And then the only two units he has left are these African pikes, which are now going to be unable to really catch up or do anything else. So interesting battle. I thought my opponent did really well there at trying to fight his way out of that ambush. So kudos, good job. You did a lot better than me in the Teutoburg Forest. I got slaughtered. I think these dog units were pretty interesting. I got a fair number of kills. I don't know if it completely pays for them. But these Naked Warriors here, these groups did pretty darn well, and these Oathsworn both did fairly well as well. Did they pay for themselves? Not exactly sure, but they stuck around till the end of the battle, which means that I had units left and he didn't. My skirmishers, not a ton of kills on any one particular unit, but when you think about how many kills my skirmishers got versus how many kills his didn't, that made an impact to the battle. So a lot of his infantry suffered at the hands of my skirmishers, and mine didn't at his. And I think that the Savage Dogs were actually pretty applicable in this case. I didn't use them perfectly. I should have gotten them cleaner into his skirmishers, but in the case of this battle where his units start off kind of disorganized, I think that that's a great opportunity to use a unit like the Savage Dogs, which may not be as useful in a normal fight, but can definitely be useful. So let's watch the first port battle, which I believe... Was this one? Did I get both? I must not have gotten both of the port battles. Ah, shoot. Yeah, it looks like I forgot to save the second port battle. Sure enough. Oh well, we'll watch one of them. So this was the first port battle where I played as Sparta. It looks like I'm not going to have the one where I played as the Egypt, but that's okay because I played against an AI character there, so won't be as big a loss. I'll try and show you what happens somewhat in the city as well, but to be honest, Rome is going to spend most of its time trying to burn its way through the gates, so I will try and get some close-ups of the naval fight, especially since I don't often show naval battles. My idea with this army was that I'd have kind of like a core of assault firepot ships just for a little bit of ramming and disruption, while my skirmishers and ballista ship did most of the killing. And I was thinking archer ships would be pretty good because of their relatively high attack, but I always forget that archers have less ammo. And I almost kind of wonder if archer ships would be best at lighting other ships on fire. Maybe I should have used them that way. I'm not sure, because you get a whole lot less damage to the troops on the ship with flaming arrows, but you definitely have a chance of catching them on fire. This is the fire pot hanging off of these ships here. Wow, that ship would have just gotten sunk by that wave, I think. It's sinking pretty low down there. Let's watch that again, see if it happens. To the oars. Yeah. Ship's riding a little low. They got a low rider. So let's take a look at the Pontic fleet. He's got a whole bunch of Eastern archer ships right in the center. Those are big ships. These missile Panteras, pretty powerful when it comes to ramming as well. And then he's got some hillmen in these assault Tateras. And then he's got his artillery Panteras back here. And they're supported by a couple of more hillmen ship. His general is a Pontic swordman, Hexeras. So you can see here I'm just going to run an initial assault with my my Spartan or Perioikoi Hapote ships. Oh, gruesome fate for those guys. And then I think I was trying to ram here. I didn't even get a good ram. Oh, but that fire pot blew up there when they turned across me. But this ship's not reacting the way I should have it. and I make a quick run straight in for his artillery ship here, and I do manage to board it, but I'm going to get rammed from the side. Boom! So that ship's gone. Good job by the Pontic player there. Let's see, out on this flank I've got some Periodically hoplites that are getting skirmished out. But then my own skirmishers, I've got 2 boats of Helot archers here, trading fire with his own men. So I'm doing alright in the skirmish warfare. And then I've got a couple of my Helot archer ships here too, running away from his Panteras. But he's going to get a side ram, or no, he gets caught on his own ship. And I avoided the ram there just narrowly, so that was fortunate for me. So my guys have continued running, but now they're under artillery fire as well. But now look, I do have some javelin ships up behind his artillery ships. And let's see, I've had to retreat my own artillery ships. And here's my my general, which is a Spartan hoplite on a Hexeras. Probably not exactly the way Spartans like to fight. I'm going to go in for a ram here. Ooh, brutal ram. We sink those Eastern Javelin men. But then look, enemy missile Panteras coming towards me. Trading rams with each other. Both of our ships are still up. Let's see, so over here he's firing artillery at these ships. My general is on the move. Ooh, got tagged in the back, so the hull damage is probably starting to show for my general ship. Yeah, I've got some damage on it. And then we still have a pretty nice big fight going on over here. Let's see what we got. Me running my own ships into each other. I don't think it causes damage from a friendly collision though, thank goodness. At this point I realize that I'm losing overall in the general ramming fight, so I start to pull back and let my skirmishers do their thing. My opponent has a lot of skirmishers too though, but I have some slinger ships which I think will be well matched against his archers. And I've got my my general a little bit out of position. I probably should have taken him and run out this way to get out of the fight, but I decide that hey, I'm going to go for a ram on his admiral ship, thinking that I'd probably be able to ram him. And the archer fire, as you can see, is not having a lot of effect on hoplites. So my general's men on the ship are relatively safe. He starts to move this ship at the last second, and then watch this clever little move here. So I'm trying to ram his general, and he engages a ram mortar on my general. And he gets away from me, and then I take a horrible side swipe ramming, which ends up sinking my general's ship. So all these Spartan hoplites forced to abandon ship and go to a watery grave. So my general dies in a foolish effort there. But now I have his forces surrounded, and my guys are kiting him out here, so he just lost another archer ship. Though this javelin ship is getting torn on pretty good. Yeah, my slingers are really hurting these guys pretty nice. Yeah, I got these Helot slinger ships. I lost another archer ship here. But now all my fire is going to start pouring into this ship with the Eastern archers. It looks like I'm going to turn to ram. I did. So I got a pretty good ram on him in a few spots. Oh, good grief. Look, just crunched that ship. That was awesome. So that missile Trires, or whatever, Trires, whatever. I don't know how to say it. I just got a good ram in on his general right there too with this missile Panteras. Check out my my Helot archers shooting his swordsman, but then look, my ship's gonna get rammed. Boom! We're gonna have to abandon ship. So Pontic player doing a good job about putting some of my ships under. Though at this point we're really starting to narrow down our numbers. He's got one, well, it looks like one artillery ship left, but it's having to maneuver. I have an artillery ship left as well. While they're maneuvering though, they're not going to be effective, of course, at firing their ballista. And these hillmen are under a lot of fire right now too. Looks like I just went for a ram on this Pontic sword, and then my ship actually took the brunt of that and sunk. So I'm running out of ships, but I see a couple more good ram positions coming up here, but then decide against it because the ramming hasn't been going real well for me, as you can see. So I'm going to pull back out, and the missile damage is going to start to take its toll. There's only 10 men left on this ship, at least on the deck. Oh, a whole bunch more fire coming in there too, and it goes ahead. It's see right there, I got caught on my own ship when I tried to retreat. He got a perfect ram in with his assault Hexeras and sunk my raiding Himolia. So let's see, it's down 4 on 3. He's got 2 assault ships and an Eastern archer. His archer is probably, yeah, it's out of ammo because they have their swords out. So let's see what's going to happen. Let's Let's see if I can get into... Oh! Trying to go into ram mode. That ship got shattered. And then, let's see, his Assault Hexeras, his Pontic Swordsman just got hit by an artillery shot. I actually got turned around and hit it. So his general is going to die here. And then he has one ship left. I click a ram order at the last second. And get a decent ram in there, and that's enough to sink these guys. So a very, very close fought naval battle. Let's go see how my my Roman teammate's doing. He's just now managed to catch the gates on fire. Well, almost at least. This whole time he's been trying to burn the gates, but he's been under fire from up here on the walls from these longbow hunters, which are apparently now out of ammo because they have their knives drawn. And I'm guessing the Balearic Slingers were trading fire with him. Let's see how many kills they have. 147 kills on that Balearic Slinger. These auxiliary Syrian archers only with 2 kills. I think they're shooting at the gates, though. So the Syrian archer is probably not the best application. And here he's got some auxiliary cav and a Germanic scout rider, probably trying to lure him away. He can't catch that scout rider, but if he did, auxiliary cav is actually a pretty sturdy melee cav. Nice bonus versus infantry, too. They could definitely mop up light sword units. So it looks like the Roman does have the gate caught on fire. At this point, he's just waiting for the fire damage to add up. But he's taken some pretty severe casualties. If you look just here on the ground, you can see some of the dead Romans. He had some of his troops back here in Testudo, I think. Or maybe he did earlier. Testudo is actually pretty dang effective, and if he used it against the longbow hunters, it would have been helpful. I mean, you would definitely want to approach the gate in Testudo formation, and yeah, okay, he's into it now. The Testudo formation is helpful. The tower missiles are more powerful than normal missiles. Well, let's watch what happens while his men charge through the gate here. The boiling oil, so we're going to get some boiled Romans. And they're going to make their way on into the city, and they're going to be met by Bloodsworn, which they can totally handle the fight against Bloodsworn. The biggest problem that he ran into here is that burning oil. I mean, it definitely takes its toll. But now that his guys are inside the gate, he is actually better off to not send any more units until this flag comes all the way down, and then the burning oil stops. The Suebi player is playing it cool. He doesn't commit all of his troops to this fight right off the bat. He just commits his Bloodsworn and is trying to wear down the Roman soldiers. And I actually think that's a really smart move. It looks like my teammate just totally forgot to bring siege equipment. If he would have brought ladders, the Suebi would have been in big trouble. So whenever you do these siege battles, don't forget to go over on the left side of your battle setup screen and click on the equipment tab and make sure to bring yourself some ladders or siege towers, and that'll make these siege battles go better. I forgot it myself, so I'm definitely not at liberty to give my opponent a real hard time. Well, it looks like Bloodsworn or axe units. That's kind of cool. Yeah, these Legionnaires are totally capable of taking down Bloodsworn. It's just the Bloodsworn are a fairly cost-effective unit. You can see the Romans trying to pour through the gates. I say fairly cost-effective. They're dirt cheap. The good thing about the Bloodsworn is that he can save his money and get units like this, like these Swordmasters. And I'm not sure. Let's take a look at his general. Yeah, oh, check out that artillery shot I just put through his general. Yeah, so his general is going to take off, so I actually used my artillery ship's last remaining ammo to chase him off, and that worked out, because any of those Swordmasters I can kill will be good, since they're such a strong unit. I can't really do anything. I can't land my troops because he's got men and scout riders keeping me from capturing, and he's got actually enough men. I did have a little bit of ammo left with my slinger ship, so I am going to hit some of his men from the ships, and I got in a position where that tower there really couldn't get an angle on me. So it's too bad I didn't have more slinger ships and ammo left, because this would have helped me a lot. You can see here comes my flaming round. Bounced off the building, didn't quite hit its mark. Roman player is making a little bit of headway, but he's just taken too many losses, and now you see these Swordmasters commit, and they use a frenzy and a headhunt. So these guys are going to be brutal. Yeah, look at the kills just shoot up there. These guys are definitely superior to the Legionnaires. Here comes an auxiliary cav, which is actually a fairly useful unit. my teammate charges in, and it looks like he tries to pull through the gateway. I don't think that was a smart move because he's going to take unnecessary losses. I think he should have just come in and committed them to this fight, and I think they would have done well because of their attack and their bonus versus infantry. I think he should have just brought him in and committed him, and let him stay there. By pulling him through like this, he's going to start taking losses. He does make a little headway in through here, but I don't think in the end it's good. And by pulling through, it allows these Wodenaz spears to get a hold of him. I would have just pulled him in and let him fight the swords, and then if the Swaby player pulls his swords back and sends in spears, then just pull your cab back and send more legionnaires in. Yeah, check it out, all the things going on here. So he's used these special Swaby, oh wow, first phase speed, second phase speed charge bonus. Yeah, he's used all of those Swaby special abilities that come with, oh crap, I can't remember the name of the Swaby commander that they come with, but yeah, in any case, the Swaby have some pretty sweet special abilities. Armor piercing damage gets shot way up from that one, so yeah, in any case, the Roman just not able to break through the Swaby here. He had too many troops left, and I didn't come away with many troops from the naval engagement. These port battles are actually pretty fun, and I thought it was fun to put it in such a way that one set of players is fighting a naval brawl for supremacy, and the other set of players is defending the city. That way it's not too unbalanced one way or the other, and I think it just kind of keeps it entertaining. If you all thought this was enjoyable, let me know, but I figured this would be an enjoyable way to do it. Yeah, here comes Berserkers. Look at that charging in. So he saved his best units for last. He's got a Swordmaster and Berserkers coming in last. The Roman has to commit his Legatus unit at this point, and he's going to bring in some of his last Legionnaire units. Let's pull them up so you can see him. He's got a Legionnaire cohort, and then right here, this unit right here routed with a substantial number of men left, and that was just no good. Yeah. At this point, the Roman just doesn't have enough men left to take care of business. He's lost too much of his melee infantry, and the German, Swaby players got more Bloodsworn, one Berserker that's still just running Berserk, chasing a routing unit. Look at this poor Legionnaire. He's like, please have mercy. Getting chased by all these Berserkers. And the Berserkers now are going to go Berserk right back towards the main battle. Like I said, the Roman legions just lost their general too, and that final morale blow of losing their general was a little too much. I don't think he should have committed his Legatus into this fight yet. If he would have kept his Legatus back just a little longer, certainly would have helped. And he's definitely causing some damage to the Swaby player, but here come these Wodenaz spears. Wodenaz spears aren't all that fantastic. They're kind of like a hoplite with less armor, but they have the Encourage ability, and they're fairly cheap for having the Encourage ability. And that's going to really help the Swaby morale. And look at the morale of the Swaby right now. The Roman morale is okay because he just used Raised Banner and Rally. But when his general dies, it's just going to put the nail in the coffin for the Roman morale. And then these Berserkers also have a Scare Enemy Units effect, which is going to really, really hurt the Roman morale. And then they're getting outflanked too by archers coming down off the walls. Just a tough situation. Some of you asked, Heir, why didn't you use your artillery ship to punch a hole in the wall for your teammate? I did not have enough ammo in the artillery ship to punch a hole in the wall. It takes a pretty substantial amount of artillery fire from a ship, since there's only one ballista on it, to punch through a wall. It takes a lot of ammo, and it's not real effective. In any case, that's going to be the end of the Roman player. I'll let you all watch the last few moments as the Roman troops are beaten back out of the city. So it looks like the Swaby Pontic alliance here is going to hold out against the Roman Sparta alliance. Fun battle. I would like to do more of these. Let me all know what you thought about these port assaults. Again, I thought they were entertaining. Let's end that replay and take a look at the kills. So yeah, the Swaby player just doing a fantastic job. These Bloodsworn did very well. I thought it was neat that he brought these scout riders to get out and try and keep the Roman honest while they were trying to burn through the gates. And then a couple of Wodenaz spears. These guys will provide nice morale support. The Berserkers and the Swordmasters for the main killing component, and the Longbow Hunters to skirmish from the wall. Relatively cheap unit, and the number of kills they got is definitely pretty much worth it, except for this one they got 0, but the others I'm sure did fine. There's Altera's kills. One of his Legionnaires did pretty well. This Veteran Legionnaire did pretty well. Some of the others struggled. 80 some odd kills on this Auxiliary Cav isn't too bad. I think if these guys would have just been able to commit longer, it would have really been a help. But in any case, some gladiators, I'll tell you what, those guys might have been pretty helpful to go through the gates since they have such high attack. Hard to say. It'll be interesting. Hopefully we get to play more of these. Well, let's take a look at the last battle, which was the 3v3. I named it Heir Gets Slaughtered because I do get slaughtered, but I think in this case I'm kind of taking one for the team, and you all were probably like, boring, Heir didn't even engage. Well, see, that's the thing about team battles, is you have to know when to engage and when not to engage. So it looks like it's going to be, I'm on the team as Carthage with Rome and Bactria versus Egypt, Carthage, and Parthia. And I decided to square off against Parthia, and to be honest, I don't really have the right army to square off against Parthia, because they're going to have Eastern Slingers, but I kind of just wanted to face them because I felt like if I faced them, then the Bactrian player could face the enemy Carthaginian player, and I think he had an advantage. And then the Roman, of course, should be able to hold his own against the Egyptian. So I went ahead and just put myself at the disadvantaged position because I felt like all I have to do is just not engage and keep the Parthian player from assisting elsewhere, and it should allow me to win the battle. And the idea behind that is if I can just keep my guy from beating me, I'm not giving the enemy team any advantage. And as long as my teammates can start to gain the advantage, even if I get completely killed, I've played my role in the battle, which is to help the team win. So at this point, plus I'm talking to you all and trying to comment and have other stuff going on, so I knew that I was going to be pretty limited in my ability to micro around, so definitely did not want to engage Parthia, as I do not have the right army. These light swordsmen and light hoplites are just bait for these cataphracts. These guys will absolutely destroy that kind of crap. So the the Carthaginian player brought a giant ballista, and he's got it right back here. My main rule was just don't spam. And when I said don't spam, I pretty much told him, like, don't bring like 20 pikemen or something. And the Bactrian player did bring a whole bunch of horse archers. But you know what? These eastern factions sometimes fought this way with a lot of horse archers, so I don't really think this was too bad. He's going to come in and start fighting some of these Cretan archers and Libyan peltasts. I think he should have just spread out his horse archers a little more. And right here, I was hoping my men would be hidden because there's no line of sight from the enemy. There really is no line of sight, but they never go hidden, and I was kind of just hoping to sneak around. And I want to get around here to the back of the Parthian player and hopefully get his foot skirmishers. If I get the Parthian foot skirmishers, I'll be in good shape. Check out all these armored elephants coming over the crest of this dune. That's an imposing sight if it's ever been seen. Beautiful. Graphics in this game really are beautiful. In any case, you can see this Carthaginian horde of cav sees my light cav, but it's too late. I'm already around his flank. And in case you get confused, my Carthaginian banners have the kind of the gold outline, and the enemy one has the kind of reddish-orange outline there. And again, just notice how I'm denying the flank to Parthia. And Parthia is doing a good job of, hey, I'm going to split my striking component, and I'm just going to protect my my slingers with my infantry and elephants. He's perfectly at will to do that because, hey, what can I do? I mean, I could bring out my infantry to attack these guys, but I'll get absolutely creamed by those elephants and his slingers, and then he can just come from the flank and support this cataphracts. So whenever you're facing off against a Parthian army and you see people split up and you're like, oh, easy, I can just go take out his infantry. Only if you think you have a way to protect yourself, but I don't. I have all these Libyan peltasts, and if I could get them a hold of his Indian elephants, it will go well. But if I can't protect my flank, it's going to go poorly. And look, there's Egyptian cab threatening my flank as well, so it's going to be a challenging bit for me. And so here, look, the Roman player's gone into testudo against these mercenary Rhodian slingers, but this unit hasn't, so the Rhodian slingers are targeting that first cohort. And let's see what the Bactrian player's up to. I think the Bactrian player on our team played a pivotal role here because he, in the end, did really start to push on Carthage. Let's see, he's got some Bactrian noble horse here coming in, acting like they were going to charge. And then he's got his horse archers taking a lot of shots from this direction. That's going to be a considerable amount of archer fire coming at him. Looks like he has one Bactrian light horse coming back from routing. How many horse archers does he have? Looks like 8. Yeah, he's got 8 horse archers. That's quite a bit. Now, horse archers don't have a never-ending supply of ammo like it seemed like they did in Rome 1, and they're not as damaging as you might think. They are damaging, for sure, but it's not like if someone brought 8 of them in Rome 1. It is a little different. Are they powerful? Yes, if there's no slingers to bring them down. They're pretty strong, but they do suffer at the hands of foot skirmishers. Oh, check it out. Bactrian Noble Horse into these skirmishers. That's going to be a huge loss for Carthage. Huge loss. Those Libyan Peltists are fairly expensive, and he needs them, too, to help fight back these horse archers. So now the horse archers are just going to be able to rain it in on these pikemen, and it is going to get ugly. Ugly indeed. Yeah, look at all that horse archer fire coming in. Yeah, his guys are just at complete liberty to fire into the flanks. And this is where horse archers are going to be deadly. Just absolutely deadly. Check out these sweet fire pot rounds being fired in here. More horse archer fire coming into the flanks. Looks like the Carthaginian players coming at these pikemen. Yeah, checking out these pikemen holding back those swords just the way they should from the front. Looks like the Carthaginian player is going to try and move to the flank. Smart move. But the Bactrian pikemen playing their role, which is to kind of zone out the Carthaginian player. And now you can see the Bactrian player making a run for these giant ballista. And he's got some horse archers firing at the enemy general here, which is a bodyguard. There are some late Libyan Hoplites guarding the ballista. And he's going to pull his cav out. Looks like some of his skirmishers got away. He's got a few Libyan Peltists. Now it looks like Rome is going to start pushing against Egypt. And I'm still just letting the Parthian player shoot at me. So I have a whole bunch of Hoplites and a whole bunch of Libyan Peltists. And really, I'm going to let the slingers fire at me all day long, because the Eastern slingers really shouldn't do all that well against my... oh, sorry, my virus program is coming up. Yeah, so the slingers really won't do all that well against my Peltist or my Hoplites, because both of them have a solid armor. Hoplites even more so, and both of them have very solid shield strength. So this is the kind of unit that slingers can kill, but it's going to take an obscene amount of ammo and a lot of time. So I'm more than happy to let the Parthian just shoot at me. Do I wish I could do something about it? Sure. If I had good enough micro, might I have been able to do something about it? Sure. But at this point, again, it's all about not being too hasty. And I'm just going to play safe. It'll make me look bad. I'm not going to get many kills, but whatever. If that's what it takes for me to help obtain a team victory, that's what I'm going to do. Now, if my teammates were over here losing, by all means, I would be trying to engage Parthia and do as much damage as I can. But right now, it's not going to hurt me to just sit back and hold them off. Check out these Indian armored elephants getting into the back of this Carthaginian cab. That's going to be a downright slaughter. That kind of melee cab has no chance against armored elephants, and this is a lot of elephants. I think there's 2 units of armored elephants and 1 of the regular elephants. Yeah, 2 armored and 1 regular elephant unit here. This Egyptian cab's not going to be able to slow down the elephants either, and they're not retreating right now, probably because the Egyptian player's trying to micromanage around the Roman player. Oh, yeah, this is just an elephant stampede here. Brutal. All these Indian elephants. Oh, check it out. Just got a giant ballista shot on those elephants, too. And then, look, the elephants are now going to turn into the back of this Egyptian infantry. Here comes some Roman elephants as well. Quite a few elephants on the field for my team. Elephants are units to be scared of, for sure. I brought in a few of my my cheap Iberian swordsmen to help out in this infantry fight. Here I'm going to get them behind these pikes, and I believe I charge in, and here I'm just going to keep his pikes facing me without engaging. But this was just to put some extra pressure on the Egyptian player. These pikemen are going to get absolutely slain by these swordsmen. These Iberian swordsmen with a few upgrades aren't all that bad versus units like this. Very effective versus spear units. Not so effective against heavier sword units, but... yeah, so check it out. The Roman player's got his legionary cav. The Bactrian player's just mopped through. And at this point, I decide to try something against these players. Because, I mean, the fight's completely out here, so now I'm just kind of out on my own. I'm going to die at this point. Parthia has been able to one-on-one beat me easily this whole time. They're just afraid of my teammates helping or getting beat up so badly that they can't help their own teammates. But look, his slingers have been firing this whole time, and he still hasn't killed a single unit of my Libyan Peltist. So these slingers over here are expending a lot of ammunition and not getting a lot of kills. So see, none of those units are over. That one just hit 40 kills. So this is not a real great use for him. But he just wasn't, you know, what else was he going to do? I wasn't going to make it easy for him. These elephants here can kill his cataphracts, period. That's why he's scared to engage me. So really, if I hadn't brought these elephants, I would have had nothing to discourage the Parthian player from just coming at me. And you can see that there's a lot of troops from my team coming out of that fight. So the Parthian player pretty much knows the writings on the wall at this point. He did a good job in being cautious towards me because, again, these elephants could have wiped out his cataphracts. So he has to give them a wide berth, and he continuously throughout the battle used his horse archers to push on my elephants, which is fantastic. That's a great use for him to try and run elephants amok. You can see him doing that there. He did manage to tag a couple of my elephants with flaming around. But yeah, again, just keep my elephants away and I'll bring them in when the time is right. So at this point, I start moving around. I mean, there's really no way I can defend myself from every direction. I'm sure I don't even do a fantastic job, really, of what I do. Do-do. Oh man, I'm stupid. Now over here, these Indian elephants start charging me and I'm like, ah, crap, I'm dead. So I bring up my Libyan Peltis with an attack order, charge in my my noble cab just to try and stop these guys. It was not enough to stop them because I didn't get there in time. And these guys are just going to keep trampling their way right towards my Iberian swords, which is their original target. And again, I've targeted all my Cretan archers and everything on these Indian elephants. But since his guys kind of trampled through my own, it's going to slow me down a little bit in being able to kill him. And look, even not even targeted on my noble cav, his elephants still have no problem killing it. The other Carthaginian player and the Parthian really start to move, and I'm just going to get eaten alive. But I've still got my elephants. That's really the main unit that I have that could really do any killing to begin with. My Libyan Peltis were capable of getting kills, just never got the opportunity in this fight. Yep, so the Indian elephants actually start to go down now. They're down to less than half of their numbers. And at this point, it's safe for me to go ahead and consider engaging my own elephants. There's some Parthian swordsmen here that are dangerously close to my elephants. Here comes that Indian elephant running amok. And then, so I go ahead and engage my general over here with some hoplites against these eastern cataphracts. I will certainly lose that fight. And then check out that sweet shot right there. Gets his horse archers with flaming shot in the back. And look at the morale of my units just tank instantly. But now it's time for me to engage my elephants. Past time, actually, but that's okay. I wanted to make sure that they got engaged well. Just going to plow on through my own teammate here into these Parthian swordsmen. Why not? And then over here, I'm targeting this cataphract unit, and I'll catch it, partly. Start cutting down these eastern cataphracts. Elephants will definitely shred a unit like cataphracts. Could probably shred several units of cataphracts. Yep, so a lot of these eastern cataphracts now getting caught by my elephants. There's still Roman elephants in the field. My guys finished raffle stomping all of these Parthian swords. Let's see. He's getting flaming shot onto my elephants at this point with his horse archers, so my guys probably will run amok. But as long as I get to take out some of these eastern cataphract units, it's worth it. Let's see. So these cataphracts aren't dropping real fast yet. Oh, there they go. I just dropped a bunch of them. Now their morale's starting to falter. There's Bactrian pikes coming in as well. So yeah, my elephants will definitely grind down those cataphracts. And then check it out, this Parthian sword unit. Goodbye, chumps. You can brace all you want, but a sword unit's not going to stop the elephants. So my African war elephant's just going to munch these guys. Parthian swordsmen are actually, you know, they're a fair unit for the price. Not great, but certainly not suited to fight elephants. And then here I'm going to charge right on into these. Those cataphracts are out of with 42 men left. And I'm going to charge into these cataphracts. Got a trample charge there, so it was a good one. And my elephants actually start racking up quite a few kills. Got another unit coming in. The Parthian player is pretty much gone at this point. His guys are going to start suffering morale penalties. Check it out. I put this Libyan hoplite, and I took them out of formation attack, charged them into the back of this eastern cataphract unit. You can see, even though they're a spear unit and they have a big bonus versus cav, their base attack is just pretty low. It's only 24, so even if you add in that 25 against a heavily armored unit like this cataphract, that has a, you know, it's just a tough unit with a lot of health. My Libyans just can't quickly kill a unit like this. In fact, there's not many units that could quickly kill a cataphract unit because there's really not supposed to be units that quickly kill them. They're heavily armored and tough units to kill. But Hapotes can stop their charges. That's the biggest reason why you would bring Hapotes. And in a prolonged melee fight where you had good positioning, they would beat the Cataphracts. That's kind of crazy, this horse getting javelined there. Same thing with this one. I don't know where those javelins are coming from, but they're helping me out. They're Eastern javelinmen. They're actually killing some of their own Cataphracts, which is nice for me. See, he put down some of his own men for me. I've got my elephants throwing flaming javelins, and that's just to try and drop the morale of these units. So if you combine that with the scare from the elephants, then it's usually a fantastic way to knock out units faster. And then we'll check out that good round of flaming shot from his javelins. But his javelins are going to pay the price for trying to throw a flaming shot at me. So he threw it at one unit of elephants, and I charged him with the other. So his javelin unit just gets quickly flattened. And now I can pursue his Cataphracts the way I want to. Which he's going to try and get away from me there. And then I charged into this Cataphract unit over here. Even versus elephants, the Cataphracts don't go down real fast, but it's not a good fight for them. They would lose eventually. This unit ran amok, so it's now trampling all over these friendly pikemen. Sorry, Bactrian teammate. In any case, hope you all enjoyed these, just to give you a little bit of close-ups on the live action that took place. So this is just kind of a follow-up video, really. I did terrible in this fight as far as stats go, but again, serve the purpose that I need to. You can see that the Carthaginian player did all right, and the Parthian player did well too, because they killed all of my units basically. I basically handed these folks 1,700 kills. But in the end, my teammates were able to get the kills they needed. Look at the Roman here, fantastic kills against the Egyptian, and also the other units, and then Arab Macedon here, fantastic kills. Over 100 kills on a couple of his horse archer units, which is pretty impressive. And then these tanky elephant units really did the job as well. So good game to all my teammates and opponents. Hope you enjoyed these battles today. We'll probably have more in the future. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.